Molly, as I sit and think about role models and who I want to be at the end of every day and what I want to be able to say, I think being like Molly Dobson would be the nicest thing I could achieve. You are so open to others. You are compassionate beyond words. You are bright and inquisitive and incredibly generous of your time and your heart. And there aren't very many people that are like you. I don't know of anybody like you.
You don't want to. You can clone me.
Wouldn't this community and every community like to do that?
Well, it's been a privilege to be an Ann Arborite and learn what a nonprofit is and to support programs that support people in need. Two of my favorite ones, well, Ellie's Place needs a lot of support. There wasn't support when Peter Dobson was killed. There was nothing. We need that help. Nobody can mend by themselves. They need a family. And when you come to a place like Ellie's Place, you'll find that family that you can love and listen to and go home. Maybe you'll never mend, but partially mend or get closer to total mend. I just am so glad it's here in this community.
Molly, your legacy is certainly one of utmost philanthropy, generosity, and thinking about other people. Did you learn that from your family? Was that expected of you?
I can think of one incident with my father. It was my 21st birthday, and I was living at the Delta Gamma house, and they came up to bring me a present and say hello. And here I am 2 months away from graduation, and my dad said to me, "Sis, what are you planning on doing?" And I really hadn't thought very much about it. We didn't have these questions in our family. We should have, but we didn't. But I said, well, maybe I'll be a stewardess. Airplanes were big transportation at that time and looked very exciting and inviting, and it would be a traveling experience. And this is 1944, mind you. We were deep in war on both coasts. And he said, "Do you think that's doing enough for your country?" And there was a seed there that was planted about you have an obligation where there are needs to sort of do your best to fulfill in any small way you can. Well, it's a privilege to be on the planet, and it should be very inspiring to make the most of every day and decide what matters to you and find your priorities and roll up your sleeves and get in there. If you don't have funds, there are other things you can do.
That's right.
And we have to realize that. We don't all carry the same purse or wallet, but that's not the end of involvement. There's just so much more in terms of support.
But Molly, you've really become such a role model to me and to so many people in our community. I look on Facebook, which is you have to be the queen of the Facebook support groups for Ellie's Place. I see you sharing all the time, and it's your way of being able to tell people you're still involved and it still matters.
Communications. And how important is that we are able to communicate in so many different ways about what we don't believe in or what we object to and what elates us and just is great in the community.
Yeah.
And that's why I like being on Facebook. I'm Snoopy. It's as simple as that. And it's my way of keeping in touch with my grandchildren.
Ellie's Place for 30 years has had your attention, and I can't thank you enough for that attention and that support. It means the world to me, but to the families and to the growth. You legitimize things, Molly Dobson. If Molly is involved, it can't be all wrong, and it, in most cases, is remarkable.
Well, I think you're talking, Betsy, somewhat about giving, and
Yeah.
I think we don't focus often enough on giving, or what we care most about within a community or beyond those borders.
For me, Ellie's Place provides the hope that the future for the families that walk through our doors is possible.
Wanting some sunshine.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the community that is just so thoroughly embraced Ellie's Place here in Ann Arbor. This incredible building.
Well, think of the need, Betsy, and how slow it's been in being faced and resolved. And bless your heart, what an inspiration to know that you put it together and stirred the pot and all this magic unfolded.
Our incredible staff and board and community are going to make sure that it is here for every child who's grieving and who walks through our door is going to be better because of it.
Well, and you're addressing not only every child, but the parent of every child who's suffering and hurting too, and yearning to mend, and not finding comfortable ways to have that mending happen. And it just is so grief is so absorbing, and so negative, and so hard to get away from.
Well, and I think, as you said earlier, your friends didn't understand when Peter died. They didn't know the grief you were going through. Your family didn't even understand all that you were going through. So Ellie's Place is a place where you can sit with me, whose daughter died, and you, whose son has died, and whose daughter has died. And we have a bond that there's an understanding, there's hope, there's I get you, and you get me, and I'm here for you.
Well, you listen to me and I listen to you. Everybody needs a listener.
I think, Molly, you are just Ann Arbor's jewel.
I'm 98 years old, and it's really nice to look back on your life and realize you've had a purpose and been able to accomplish something. I must have stumbled upon it, but there's a nice, welcome, warm contentment level there when it comes to giving and knowing wonderful people and seeing wonderful things happen and unfold because of the small part you had in it's happening.
Your involvement legitimizes programs because of all that you've done throughout your life. Your legacy is keep going.
That's music to my ears. People seldom get into conversations like this or say these things or hear these things, but none of us know how long we're going to be on the planet, and we might as well make the most of every day we have. It's a gift.